that? Is it?
Could it be? Is it? Oh, is it?
Shouldn't it really be all lives matter, y'all? I mean, don't we all count?
Shut up, Phil. Take your stupid fucking hat off and go home. Nobody wants you here. Nobody likes you. You walk around town shitting on everything, you never contribute, and then you act like you're put upon because you're not a part of it. Well, maybe you would be a part of it if you weren't such a prick, okay? And you can start by taking that hat off. Come on. Take it off. Jesus Christ, Phil. Jesus Christ. Oh. Is it? It's the Monday Morning Show! Today is June 8th. My name's Ken LaSalle. Actually, it's June 7th. It's Sunday morning. It's about 6 o'clock. I'm out walking. I'm awake. Can't you tell I'm awake? Anyway, hi. Listen, before I get to anything else, there's something I really wanted to say while I almost dropped my camera. Phone, whatever. Take your pick. Shitty hair in the morning. Anyway, hi. There's one thing I really wanted to say, and that is that I have marched in protests through the 2010s, the 2000s, the 90s. Not so sure about the 80s, but definitely for 30 years or so. And sadly, I have not been able to march in the marches that are going on right now. And I feel terrible about that because these are probably the most momentous marches that we've had in at least some time. I mean, they really matter and they're really doing a great job. And I couldn't be more proud of all of the people who are out marching because Black Lives Matter, God damn it. And more than that, protesting matters, marching matters, and standing up to this bully of a president makes me so proud of my fellow Americans. And that's who's out there. That's America out there. You know, they can say whatever they want, but when you look at all the people out there, that's America. And you know, in a dark time when it's really hard to be proud to be an American, they do it. They make me so very proud. And I just want to thank each and every one of them because I can't be out there because of this stupid fucking coronavirus. And my unfortunate, I'm fucking with my face. I'm doing everything you're not supposed to do when you're filming because I am half awake. But unfortunately, I run a high risk of getting it. And I really don't want to. So yes, I'm a big fat pussy, and I'm really sorry I can't be out there and join you in your march and in your protest. But bully for you. You are amazing, and I just love every one of you. So, that's it for me. Oh wait, I should tell you. I'm out on the coves this morning. I finally am, I finally kind of worked my nerve up to get away from the house a little bit after that collision that I had a few weeks ago. I've been staying close to home because, I mean, you know, I just don't want to get sick. So I've been staying close to home. I've been working a lot. I've been not sleeping, as you can tell. And that's been my coronavirus experience. It really kind of pales in comparison after speaking about the protesters and the marchers, and that's pretty much all I had, except for it's the morning, I'm at the coves. You know, I don't work up too much material because I don't want to go on for too long. Oh yeah, I kind of shaved. I kind of shaved a little bit. I was really getting tired of the beard, and I wanted to stay faithful to my barber, Jessica. So I'm not cutting the hair, the locks are staying on, but the beard had to go. So that's it for my explanation of my actions. Let's get on to this.
And now, an autobiographical minute. Ish. I recently picked up Borderlands, the Legendary Collection, for the Nintendo Switch. I wasn't sure if I'd like it, but I knew this. Borderlands has been a celebrated video game franchise since it was first released in 2009. I remember thinking how cool it looked and considered buying it. And then Borderlands 2 came out in 2012. That title was even more celebrated and won Game of the Year award after Game of the Year award, and I really considered buying it. But you know, so many games, so little time. I also knew that it was mostly intended as a multiplayer game, and I didn't really have access to multiple players. Then, a few months ago, Vicky started playing Fortnite. I'm not a huge fan of Fortnite, mostly because I'm not a huge fan of PvP. Then, Borderlands hit the Switch, and Vicky, already hooked on shooters, was on board. And though Borderlands appeared a bit intimidating at first, let's get this out of the way right now. I suck at video games. I'm old, and my response time is... slow. But once I played Borderlands, I realized how very similar it was to a game I just finished, Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Dungeons is basically the same game in a fantasy setting with an isometric perspective, which was basically the same as another game I'd recently finished, The Children of Morta. Children of Morta is basically the same with a lot more story and a really unique art style. And I only purchased Children of Morta because it looked so similar to Diablo 3. I'd beaten Diablo 3 on the Switch and also on my PC. Several times. I've long been a fan of the Diablo franchise. Diablo 2 got me through my divorce, and I still remember the giant stack of Diablo boxes in Costco when the first game came out. I remember calling my friend's modem, yes, my friend's dial-up modem, to play with him online. But you know, I would never have had a thing for any of those games had I not pumped quarter after quarter after thousands of dollars of quarters into a little arcade game I played in the arcade as a teenager, which was called Gauntlet. Borders is basically 3D sci-fi Gauntlet, and it's so good, and Vicky and I are having a great time playing it. She's really good, though. Hi, welcome to my studio. This is where I do all of my writing, all of my recording. It's where everything gets done. It's what my wife affectionately refers to as the mess. The big fat mess. So, anyway, I wanted to record here today because I wanted to talk to you about a milestone. And that milestone is last Friday or Thursday, or I don't know, last week, I finished the first half of my third trilogy. And I thought I would just sit with you and walk you through the many, many trilogies of Ken LaSalle. Writing a trilogy is a really big deal. I don't know for every author, but it certainly is for me. It should feel like a big deal to the reader and the writer. You've got so much landscape to tell such a big story, and that's what makes it so much fun. So, let me tell you about some trilogies that I've written. The first of which would be the Rinia trilogy, which I believe, where it's listed online on Amazon, Ken's probably throwing up a bunch of I'm probably throwing up a bunch of graphics over here because I don't have the cover for the Rinia books anymore. They all disappeared many years ago. because it was my first self-published trilogy. So I kind of didn't know what I was doing as far as the technical aspect of it. So I ended up throwing away the book covers accidentally. There you go. And so I wrote the Rhynia series, which I think the trilogy of which I believe is called The Children of Rhynia. I had, I think, 2 more trilogies planned out. But that didn't quite work because after writing the first trilogy, I had a divorce and, well, that can make a mess of everything. So the Rhynia trilogy is kind of your standard fish out of water fantasy trilogy. A guy comes from our world over to their world, and there's a lot of crossing back and forth, a lot of crazy magic stuff, standard stuff. I had a great time writing it. The main character is a guy named Hezekiah Fanlan, and he can take little pieces of things, little bits, put them together and make them come to life, which he does to a truck at one point, I believe. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was back in the 90s. Back then I thought I would be writing fantasy series. One fantasy trilogy after another. I love reading fantasy novels. But as I say, it didn't quite work out that way. When it ended up getting a divorce, I stopped writing books for a while, because that'll do it to you. And I went and wrote plays for a while. So I was writing for theater for a little less than a decade. And then I went back to writing novels. And after a bit, I wrote a novel called Heaven Enough, because of my love for the PCT, but also because of my love for love. I am a hopeless romantic, and this story got into my head, and I thought, I really want to write this. So I wrote this novel about a guy who hikes on the PCT all wrong, and it was not autobiographical. Got that out to a publisher, got that out to a bunch of readers. It sold pretty well. And then I succumbed to the pressure of writing a trilogy, of making a trilogy out of that. A lot of people kept asking me, when's the next one? What happens next? So I wrote Heaven Denied and Heaven for Now, which sadly did not sell as well as Heaven Enough. The trilogy didn't do as well as the first book. But that's okay, that's okay. Live and learn, adapt, grow, you move on to the next one. So the next trilogy, which is the one I'm working on right now, is the first trilogy in the Breakthrough series, which is going to be 9 books long. So the first trilogy doesn't really have a name. It's the first third of the Breakthrough series. And Max Dedge and the Time of the Uniborg is already out. Yes, you can read it. And right now I'm working on Sue Jorgensen, Queen of Space, and I'm halfway through that. And it's really interesting the way a trilogy of books feels when you're writing it, because when you're writing a book, sometimes a novel, sometimes it can feel kind of like a roller coaster, and then there are other times when it's straight up and then straight down. You take that first hill and then it's just the coaster. That's Sue Jorgensen, Queen of Space. It's been so much fun packing in. There's kind of a mystery to the beginning of it before it works into the crazy sci-fi aspect of it. Max Dedge is a fantasy book. Sue Jorgensen, Queen of Space, sci-fi. Why? Because it's all in the series. It's a sci-fi fantasy series. So the next book, the third book in the series, excuse me, it's going to be more of both. It's going to tie it all together into a nice little package. So at the end of the third book, you know what you're in for and what kind of craziness is coming in the next 6. So that's it. That's it for my trilogies. It's a crazy, amazing kind of feeling when you're writing it. I love writing novels, and it's just a kick. So today I am moving into writing 2,500 words a day, 4 days a week, 10,000 words a week, and that means I can hammer out a book in 8 weeks, because my books generally tend to run about 80,000 words long. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but I know I can aim for that. So today starts 2,500 words a day for the next 12 weeks. Awesome. See you at the end of August. And that's it for the first live Monday morning show. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back. Like, subscribe, all that bullshit. I love you. Take care. Be good to yourself. Be kind to others. And let's make this world a better place. And that's it. Thanks for coming around, and I hope you subscribe, click the like button, and connect with me on all that social media business on the screen. Oh, and there's a book. Take care.